Here we are, everybody, the Romanze from Eine kleine Nachtmusik, written by Mozart, not by the composer Candlelight, as many records incorrectly say. Eine kleine Nachtmusik by Candlelight. Anyway, it's written by Mozart. Random bizarre humour, and so this is what a lovely piece of music. A later work of Mozart's, where, despite all he was doing in his writing at that stage, Köchel 525, this work, very famous, popular work of his, quite rightly so, he goes back to his harmonic simplicity in a way, whilst he was writing more and more harmonically adventurous pieces for piano and orchestra at the time. This is a lovely arrangement, of course, of an orchestral piece, where harmonically it's nice and simple. It goes like this. Sure it doesn't go on, no. Notice I didn't play the second repeat there. As with all associated board pieces, they suggest that you do play repeats for short phrases. In this case, I think I played the first repeat and I didn't play the second. I think there's nothing wrong with playing the second. When I play concerts, I like to play all the repeats because that's what the composer asked for. But here, perhaps for the sake of the exam, you may want to just do the first repeat and not the second. That's just a suggestion. And what a lovely, wonderful arrangement this is. Right from the beginning, a trick to making three notes that are exactly the same interesting, or three chords. And here we have a two-note chord. So, and then the music carries on. Now, how are we going to make that interesting? We want to, it's like the three-note trick. We want to make the third note almost like the starting note. Of course, it starts with these first two here in the very first bar, but we want these to be almost introductory chords. So that means we're going to play them softer and try and rather than just playing the notes louder with the key, use the arm. So soft, and I'm going to exaggerate my body movement here, which I hate to do in performance, but think of it when you're preparing the piece for a good quality of sound. The pedal comes in on the last one. You may even want little dabs of pedal with each of these as well. listened to this piece, which I hope you have, when played by the violins and the string orchestra, they will do a variety of bowing. They won't just do up, 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 or down, down, down. They may do, in terms of the bowing, up, up, down, or something that shows the 1, 2, 3, and that idea, musical idea, works with so many pieces of classical music. So there we are. We're off now. 1. Let's phrase that. So, and grazioso, which means graceful. So no rush, just take your time. 1. And I'm using lots of pedal, and I'm not holding it down. Never blur the sound. Likewise, don't pedal every harmonic change necessarily. I would use lots of pedal. It's quite fun, sort of what I call fluttering or staggering the pedal. So my right foot is almost going like that, You may think, what's the point of that? Because you're not holding the pedal down long enough to sustain the notes, but you're helping the legato effect, which is what the music asks for. It asks for smooth, and that helps our fingers create a legato. We're also adding a legato with lots of suspension in the arm, lots of this. Let's carry on. It sounds silly, but we want this note here, this middle C, is a very linked to the top two notes. It sounds strange without it, so we want that C to be strong, because it's like a pivot to show off the syncopation in the right hand. And likewise, we want to ba 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 with the staccato. Almost, don't think short, long, nothing aggressive, just a very graceful ba 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 ba, part of one motion. Ba, ba, ba. So as the hand comes up, long, ba, ba. Oops. And to play it softer, I'm going to lift the elbow up here, which sort of lengthens the arm. I mean, obviously you can't really get your arms longer, but if you want to play something quieter in the right hand or left hand, just lift your arms up a bit. Whenever we play big, thick chords, I'm exaggerating it here, but we really do want to imagine there's a bit more lift under here, not under the armpits, but that helps the. And again, you're always using the full arm. That makes all the notes sound rather than any gaps. Oops. So slight lift of the arm there, see. But a little accent on each of those. Again, all arm weight. Here we go again. We want to crescendo through that quaver rest here. If you're going to do the repeat, which I suggest you do, why not use that arm trick to make the second time quieter? See how much I'm almost, I am really conscious that I'm lifting my arm, and that means that I'm using more of the top pad of the finger, the very top of the fingertips, rather than this part of the finger. So more fingertips makes it a nicer, quieter sound without losing the tonality or the sonority of the sound. So try that for the second time and put variety of dynamics in as well. You may want to crescendo towards the end for the second time of doing that section. And the second half of the work, let's take our time establishing what's going on in the notes. Always say to your audience, hey, listen to this, I'm doing something different now, rather than just, because if you haven't heard this before, that's new material. You have to patronise your listener. You have to say, okay, carry on, and then you can get faster and faster if that's what was written. But always at the beginning of these phrases, particularly Mozart and even Chopin, anywhere where you have a long, it's climbing, the same shade, just ascertain and show what's going on. And I think it's particularly musical in this instance. Imagine you're not too short of the left hand, not clipped, not aggressive, just jump, 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 like the bow on the string, jump, 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 bobbing along. And even the left hand needs phrasing. It's not just repeated clumping chords. So there I was more the first two, crescendoing, same again. Do something with it. You may want to crescendo towards the end. Okay. Not so much the second time. Once you've shown that at the beginning of the phrase, then keep it going. And the editors suggest mezzo piano, so a little fuller sound. At voicing the left-hand chords as well. So what am I doing? I'm giving more prominence, making the top of the chord a little stronger than the rest of it. We want the G to be the loudest note because we hear that in every... Sounds horrible. Show the direction of the harmony. Tensing up very little within the finger here, the notes, the fingers that are playing, the top line, just to bring that melody. It's not strict melody, but it's interesting in it, and you're phrasing the left hand as well as the right hand, which makes music. So here we are, the poco ritardando and a decrescendo. So we want to, as I've said earlier, we want to be into the key for the forte at the start of the line. And lift the arm up to show the decrescendo. Don't think I must play quieter in the key. You're still using the full finger, but you're just lessening the sound by lifting up the arm. And we're all different. You will find how much you need to turn the arm to get that nice and smooth. Schubert's Impromptu is another one of those where you have to, etc., etc. Where you have to find the point at where you get the ultimate smoothness to turn the elbow around and get back into the main theme for Schubert, or in this case the main theme of Mozart. Now, isn't that lovely, that harmony change? romantic music. Isn't he great? It's not what we expect it to be, so do something. And we can crescendo through to the third, as we have before. I also think in addition to that, it's nice to put a tiny little break to show the unexpectedness of it. That's too much. What do you think about that? I like that because it's your conductor with an orchestra would get something different sound, different timbre, different quality of sound from the orchestra. So we do the same thing on the piano, and use a little more pedal to join the end of this first bar of the last line to the beginning of the next bar. Join. I exaggerated it there, but still want to show the rests in the right hand, so just add the pedal a little early, and then this, we can add lots of lush pedal there. And then carry on. It's a nice effect. Slow down too much towards the end, whether you do the repeat or not. We want it just very, so the off, then there's the ending of the piece. So it's just very graceful, as it asks for at the beginning. You want it to be, it's a short and sweet movement. So yes, at the very end, into the key, out of the key. Into the key, out of the key. In, up, down, up. There, there's another circle there. There's almost like a pendulum. Practice it like this. See how much I'm throwing my arms around like an elephant's trunk, just like. Enjoy landing in the note, so it's not always fingers. Yes, fingers are very important, but this is good practice for relying on your arm weight rather than finger pressure. Lift, in, up. And when you get it faster up to speed.